Hi, it's Rachel Martin with NPR News. And you know what? We're doing something new, and we want you to be part of it. It's called Up First. It's the morning news podcast from NPR. It's a way for you in about 10 minutes or so to get up to speed on the news of any given day. The most important stories, the biggest ideas, the stuff you need to know as you go through your day. Up First, it starts April 5th. You can get it at NPR One or anywhere you listen to your podcast.
From National Public Radio with us, Click and Clack, the Tappet Brothers, and we're broadcasting this week from the Tribute Center here at Car Talk Plaza. You know, sometimes you just have to tip your hat to somebody. A few weeks ago, I was sitting at a diner having breakfast one morning, and I happened to be reading, I don't know why, the obituaries.
Yeah.
And I started reading this obituary, and I immediately called my brother and said, grab the Boston Globe and read this obituary in the right-hand corner.
Well, it turns out to be on page B5. Theodore Teddy Green dies at 82. From the 1940s to the 1960s, Mr. Green was Boston's most flamboyant felon. In 1953, he escaped from Charlestown State Prison by hiding in a sealed crate filled with rags. He was captured 5 days later in Hackensack, New Jersey. Now get this. Now it gets good. This is a quote. I told the FBI, geez, am I glad to see you guys. The last thing I remember is being at my sewing machine in Charlestown State Prison, and I guess I must have blacked out because I thought I was Eddie Parker of Hackensack. And it just dawned on me this minute as you guys were closing in that I'm actually Teddy Green. I was just about to call you and tell you to come and get me. It goes on to say he was actually in Alcatraz. A guard in Alcatraz was inspecting his cell and fell into a tunnel that Mr. Green had been digging. Confronted by the evidence, Mr. Green said, "Damn termites." I mean, this is an interesting guy.
Oh, yeah.
And don't you wish that when you finally go to that big used car lot in the sky, that they can write an obituary as entertaining as this for people to read?
I can only hope that Tom Leah, to whom we have to send a copy of this.
We'll write a song about
it.
Well, the most interesting part of it all, and this is maybe the most curious part, is that after many, many years, he gave up a life of crime.
Indeed.
And you know what he ended up doing?
Yeah, what do you think?
He became a used car salesman. Now, that's the kind of training that these guys should have.
Exactly.
You get these amateur used car salesmen, they don't know how to steal. Teddy Green knew it all.
He did indeed.
Well, Teddy Green, wherever you may be, you've made our day.
What a guy.
Teddy Green, what a guy.
If you want to talk to us, the number is 1-888-CAR-TALK. That's 888-227-8255. Oh, 8255. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
No one will ever call us
Never.
Again. Hello.
Hi, guys. This is Andy in Alpharetta, Georgia.
Alpharetta?
Alpharetta.
I love it.
It's this side of paradise.
No kidding.
Oh, yeah, it's lovely here.
Great.
So what's going on, Andy?
Well, help me out, guys. My wife has a 3/4-ton Suburban with the 7.4-liter V8.
Oh, my.
Well, I'm tired of getting thank you notices from the gas stations around town.
Oh, yeah.
Well, what the heck did you expect?
And this is just kind of a point of curiosity, a little consumer advice, I guess, on your part is, lately I have heard a lot of ads for these aftermarket, high-tech electronic ignition systems that you plug all the wires in, and 5 minutes later you've got great gas mileage and increased performance in your car.
Yeah, you already have that. They tried that already.
Yeah.
And what do you get for mileage? About 6?
We stopped counting. I don't even think it's double digits.
Oh, no, double digits. You might get double digits downhill.
Yeah, with a tailwind.
With a tailwind. Other than that, you're definitely in single digits. The question is, are you below 5 or not?
Well, you know, they put a 42-gallon tank in, so
so you can get
you never know.
You can at least get to grandmother's house.
Right.
Yeah, a 40. Really, you have a 42-gallon tank?
Oh gosh, yeah.
Well, why do you have a 7.4-liter engine, which is like 500 cubic inches by my calculations?
Just her quest for more power and torque when she's out cruising the highway with that big horse trailer behind her.
Oh, the horse.
Oh, the horses.
Oh, yeah.
See, we Americans are a little peculiar. I mean, most people that have a horse use it as the means of transportation. And we feel that what is she taking the horses out for like a Sunday drive?
No, for a ride. That's an interesting idea.
There you go.
Well, I don't know what this miracle device is that you want to install in the car. I mean, can you elaborate?
Sure. Yeah, it's a set of what they call kind of a high-tech spark plug wires, a super coil, and then some sort of little computer gizmo that keeps it all hanging together.
What does it
supposed
cost?
To optimize the spark and the efficiency.
$99. No. I'm sorry. $139.95.
Well,
Less.
normally it was $650, but today they were going to give it to me for a mere $450.
Yeah, and if you installed this, I would say it would take close to 900 years for you to pay off that device.
Yeah, that's about what I came up to. Yeah.
Get another gas credit card and not worry about it.
I mean, you already have pretty high-tech and high-energy ignition on this vehicle already. I can't imagine that they can really get the electrons to flow much faster than 186,000 miles a second. Don't forget, they were embarrassed when they road tested this and it got 7.7 miles to the gallon, so they pulled out all the stops already.
So I'm already fuel efficient.
You are already about as fuel efficient as you're going to get, and I think you'd be spending the money foolishly. Although I'd like to see somebody buy it and see if it really does anything, and that might have to be you, Andy.
Well,
$450 is the wrong price to charge for a device like this.
oh, I agree.
I mean, what they should be doing is selling something in a bottle that costs $7.
That says miracle on it.
That says the word miracle on it, and you'd have to put it in like every week.
Well,
But the $450 price tag is genius. Because if it were $99, you'd figure what?
It's not worth
junk.
it.
But for $450, you say, geez, these guys got to have a lot of chutzpah
I don't
to
feel like
charge
I'm getting
$450 for this thing
Yeah.
if it doesn't work.
But see-
It must work.
But for $8.39 a week, you could get the $450 every year.
Yeah, but if it didn't,
And everyone would convince himself.
but if it didn't work, you'd only get the $8 once.
Oh, but it would always works.
You think so?
Because you know what happens, don't you? When you put in $8.39 worth of stuff.
Oh, you add volume to the fuel. All you're really putting in is a bottle of gasoline.
Bottle of gasoline.
There you go.
That's right, and you end up getting better gas mileage. This is a brilliant marketing.
Save your money, Andy.
We'll see you on down the highway then.
Get lighter horses.
More credit cards.
All right.
Good luck.
See you later.
See ya.
But you've got a brilliant idea about the stuff in the bottle. If it were just a bottle of gasoline
Be good enough.
and you sold it, you said, put a gallon in, and you put some pink dye in
Right.
it, right away, you're dividing by a smaller number because you
Exactly.
go fill up and it takes a gallon less.
There you go.
And you say, I'm doing better. I'm going to try it again.
Yeah.
Another $8.39.
We could sell it in big
We
bottles.
could sell a gallon of gas for $8.39, which is the price it ought to be.
Brilliant. 1-8.
We're on to something. We don't have to waste our time doing this stupid radio stuff anymore.
It's $1 million idea.
$1 million idea.
1-888-CAR TALK. That's 888-227-8255. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
Hi, my name's Carrie.
Hi, Kerry.
Kerr. Don't tell us how to spell it. Just tell us where you're from.
Okay, I'm from Columbus, Ohio.
Kerry.
Close. Kerri.
Oh, you moved from California. You weren't born in Columbus, Ohio with a name like Kerri.
You're right. I was born in Kansas City, Missouri.
No, that doesn't
That's
work
even
either.
worse.
Anyway, what's up, Kerry?
Well, I have a 97 Subaru Impreza Outback Sport.
Mm-hmm.
My brakes are making sort of a grinding noise. It sounds like metal-to-metal grinding when I first apply the brakes, even on a small incline.
Like,
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like metal to metal, like I need my brake pads changed.
Yeah, but you don't. You've had them checked, and they've assured you that they're okay.
Exactly. They told me there was dust in there and that I was, just being nutty and that there was no problem at all. And so, I didn't believe them. I thought they were nutty. And so I went ahead and had the brake pads replaced and had them changed to semi-metallic rather than metallic.
So these pads that you put on were not from Subaru.
Right.
All right. And so you thought that because you were reducing the metal content of the brakes that you would
the
reduce
metal
the
on metal sound would go away.
So it should be about half, right?
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
they're what, semi-metallic? Is it?
Makes sense to me.
Yeah. Is it about half?
Yeah, it's about half. No, actually, it didn't change at all.
Didn't change at all.
No.
Well, first of all, I wouldn't worry about it because you know that there's nothing wrong with the brake pads. Obviously, there was nothing wrong with the ones you took out.
Right.
And you can choose to try to live with the noise.
Wait. So if that's true, when you go back a few steps, the guys at the shop thought she was crazy. She thought they were crazy. So we've just assured her that it was her that was crazy.
Well, I was trying to break it to her gently.
yeah.
You know.
Okay.
Yeah. So
just wanted to make the point clear.
well, you're not crazy. I mean, you're hearing the noise, but you were. I think you were crazy to have changed the brake pads.
For no reason.
For no reason. And the truth is that some cars just do this. And there are certain chemicals that you can actually immerse the pads in that can cut down this noise. But it's only temporary. And we have some cars where we've never been able to get rid of it. And it's especially bad if the car sits for a day or two.
Right. Well, it seems to happen more often when I first pull the car out of the garage. And what's really peculiar, I think, is that I have a friend who has a 99 of the exact same car, and her brakes make the exact same noise.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, I just initially thought, that one day I was going to be headed down a hill and go careening into someone's front door.
No, that's not going to happen.
Okay, well then
The brakes will work perfectly fine.
Okay.
It has nothing to do. And
So if you can live with the noise,
even if the pads were worn out, the brakes would still work perfectly fine for a while. They work great. Metal on metal is great.
oh yeah.
Yeah, it beats a foot out the door.
It does beat a foot out the door. So don't worry about that. You're not going to go careening into someone's front living room.
And I would recommend that when you get in the car in the morning, the first thing you do after starting the engine is that you
Turn up the radio.
Turn the radio on.
Turn it up really loud.
Turn it up really loud.
For that first few
If you
minutes.
listen to the stuff my son listens to, nuclear explosions could be going on around your car and you wouldn't hear them.
Okay. Well, that's good advice. Thank you very much.
See you, Kerry.
Don't
Thanks.
worry. Everything's fine.
Be happy.
All's
I
right
will.
with the world.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
1-888-CAR-TALK. That's 888-227-8255. A lawyer on Car Talk.
Yeah, hi, this is Eric from Livermore.
Eric
Eric, yes.
from Livermore?
Uh-huh.
Livermore, as in Lawrence Livermore Laboratories?
As a matter of fact, yes, I was there today.
Were you?
Where?
I don't work there. No, I'm an upholsterer, but they need their chairs done. So.
Oh, we have an upholsterer, too. Paul Murky is our upholsterer. Oh, he's a upholster. I'm sorry.
He's a upholster, not an upholsterer.
Yeah.
What's up, Eric?
I have an 87 Dodge Maxi van, probably one of the finest handling 15-passenger vehicles you can find.
Yeah, I guess that you might be right.
Yeah. There's only two. You only got that or Ford. Actually, I'm selling it. I'm buying a Ford. But the trouble is that it seems to, when I step on the gas, it's fine when it's cold, and it's fine when I just stomp on the gas. But with anything in between, when I'm just cruising down the road, I can hear a dig-a-dig-dig-dig-dig-dig-dig, like something. It sounds like one of those an electrical.
Like a solenoid
Yeah, that.
clicking in and out?
A solenoid kicking in and out, and when it does that, my radio goes on the fritz, and I can hear all the staticky crackling, and the truck or the van just bucks, just
No
bucks
kidding.
all over the place.
Is the radio the only thing that's affected, the only accessory?
No, as a matter of fact, the dashboard lights were acting kind of weird a while back, and it blew 2 fuses in a row, and then they've been fine for like a couple of weeks. And then when I'm trying to start it, it goes start. So it stops for a second, and then whenever that happens, which isn't all the time, but when that happens, I flip on the radio, and all the presets on the radio, the digital radio, are back to whatever they,
Yeah, like the stations that don't exist.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
87.5
5:30 a.m.
5:40 a.m. Yeah.
Right. Switches to, what do they call that, the Conrad stations.
Yeah, they can talk louder because I can't hear them. So.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's a good clue.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I think it's a good clue.
I think it's a good clue because that's...
If only I knew how to apply.
Well,
Now, my daughter tried helping me because it sounded like it was that solenoid switch or whatever was coming from, like under the dashboard. And
well,
so-
I think the solenoid sound is a red herring.
Oh, really? Because as that is happening, it does it in, it jives with that.
Yeah, I agree with that. Probably is true, but I suspect that the real problem, when you hear the solenoid is kicking in and out because you're losing power elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
off.
Have you had any major work done under the hood?
Well, yeah, I got a new engine.
There you go. They left off a ground wire
Ah.
when they put the thing back in.
Good question, Frank.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Yeah, and I know because I've done it about 45 times. Well, not this week. I haven't done it, but it's something that's easy to do.
Okay.
That's right.
And that would explain everything.
That does explain.
There has to be a
everything.
ground wire that unifies all the grounds. In other words, puts them all at the same ground potential.
Yeah, because you got the
Okay.
battery that's sitting there, and it's got a negative terminal coming out of
Don't
it.
get too heavy into the theory. Just tell them the ground
No,
wire's
but-
off, and
yeah,
that's it.
but
we'll
the
get rid of
engine-
them. We'll get someone else
the
on. Maybe we
engine
can
is
answer his question.
The engine is at one ground level. The body is at another ground level,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
all of that has to be tied together.
Everything has to be at ground zero.
Ground
I
zero.
got a bad ground between where and where?
But it doesn't matter.
There's a ground strap I suspect they left off between the engine and the chassis.
Yep.
Ah. Well,
And you don't have to find it. All you have to do is run a new one.
okay, I can do that.
Just tell them to run a ground strap from the engine to the body, and all the problems will go away. This is a guarantee.
And your mileage
Not
will
between
improve
the
from
alternator and the body.
your mileage will improve from 0.7 miles to the gallon.
Oh,
Up to
no
56.
kidding. Talk about terrible gas mileage.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Things drop, you know.
So this
That's-
is the finest handling 15-passenger vehicle.
No, I just ordered a Ford big old long honking van.
Yeah, well, that'll be the second finest handling.
Run a ground strap, and you'll be all set, Eric.
Great. Well, thank you ever so much. That'll save me some money, I think.
See you later.
See you later.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, Tommy, do you remember last week's puzzler?
Do I remember last week's puzzler?
You don't remember Diddley, do you?
Diddly who?
That's what I thought. Well, it's a touching story of love and personal magnetism. It's the story of Krusty's fifth wedding, and I'll have the details in just a minute.
I can't remember it.
I didn't think so.
I got me plenty lingerie, oh so lacy and black. I won a 20-horse parlay. It's a positive fact. Now all I need is a solid gold Cadillac.
And even those single-celled organisms complain that we give evolution a bad name whenever they hear us say it. This is NPR.
We'd like to thank our sponsor, Tire Rack. Now, if you're like me and you own a car, you've probably done something dumb to it. Like the time I ran out of oil and used a quart of Filippo Berio extra virgin olive oil as a substitute. Well, Tire Rack makes it easy to be smart when it comes to your tires. At TireRack.com, you can look up the correct tires for your car and pick the best ones based on ratings and reviews. Plus, your new tires can be delivered in as little as one business day to a recommended local installer. So even if you forget to release the parking brake or send your brother's 65 AMC Ambassador to the crusher, you can still redeem yourself by getting the right tires. TireRack.com. Find, deliver, install smarter. Hi, we're back. You're listening to Car Talk with us, Click and Clack, the Tappert Brothers, and we're here to talk about cars, car repair, and, of course, the answer to last week's puzzler. This is the heartwarming story of Krusty's fifth wedding, or sixth, or something, I don't remember exactly. Krusty, of course, you may remember, was a former employee of ours at the garage, and he was on his way to meet his bride at a chapel quite a distance from home. I think it was in Unadilla, New York, in fact.
That's quite a distance from everything.
And she had already warned him, if he's late, the wedding's off. So he fires up his most reliable car, his 65 Falcon, and makes his way across Massachusetts onto Route 7 in New York.
Yeah,
Famous Route
I
7.
remember it.
Okay, anyway, all's right with the world when all of a sudden the car backfires, cuts out, and coasts to the side of the road. And he immediately figures out that his points have burned out. And he says, geez, I should have changed those before I left. If only I had another set of points. As luck would have it, he opens the glove box, and there's a shiny new set of ignition points sitting right there. Wow. And furthermore, his entire toolkit is in the trunk.
Wow.
I mean, what serendipity, huh?
Wow.
Of course, his toolkit consists of a screwdriver, a jackknife, and a hammer. So he opens the hood, takes off the distributor cap, and proceeds to remove that little screw that holds the breaker points.
I remember it now.
He deftly removes the screw, and he installs the new points. And as he is putting the screw back in, he drops it. And where does it go? Inside the distributor.
Everyone has had this happen to him.
And, of course, he can't get it out. He can see it. He can even touch it with the screwdriver, but he can't get at it. And he knows that he's done for. So he runs to the trunk and finds what you normally find in a trunk. Salami sandwich, the bumper jack. And he first thinks of jacking up the car and tipping it on its roof, but dismisses that because he thinks it might ruin the paint. He also finds a 50-pound bag of Iam's dog food, not to be confused with Ewam's dog food, a junky old lamp that he bought at a yard sale. That was going to be the wedding present for his bride, and a gallon of Filippo Berio extra virgin olive oil.
Yeah.
Using one or a combination of these items, plus his toolkit, he manages to extricate the screw in a matter of seconds, maybe minutes, certainly. And he doesn't tip the car over. How did he do it? So he had, you ready? Salami sandwich, bumper jack, 50-pound bag of dog food, an old lamp, and a gallon of Filippo Berio extra virgin olive oil, and, of course, his toolkit, the screwdriver, the jackknife, and the hammer. Wow. What does he do? What does he do? What does he do?
I have to say, I'm baffled by this one. I'm baffled. But I know it's going to be great.
You do, huh?
Yeah, I know. I remember now when you stated this puzzle last week, I said it must have something to do with the lamp.
You're right.
But I couldn't figure out what.
You couldn't figure it out.
Nah.
He takes the lamp cord, realizes that this isn't going to be his bride's wedding present after all. And he cuts the cord.
With the knife.
With the knife. He then bares, with his jackknife, he then bares the ends of the cord so he has a wire with the insulation removed.
Yeah.
He then wraps that lamp cord around the screwdriver and touching the bare ends to the battery. And turns his screwdriver into an electromagnet. And in the second he pulls out the screw, and before the lamp cord catches fire, he installs the screw, sets the points, and he's 2 hours late for the wedding. She was gone when he got there. But he did make it. You know, I mean, the moral of the story is that you can make it if you have to, but he was a little late.
Wow. Wow.
So that's it.
Electromagnet.
Who would have thought, right?
Beats me. I do know. I know that Adrienne Overman from Concord, North Carolina figured it out. And for having her correct answer chosen from among the 2 correct answers that we got this week, she's going to get a $25 gift certificate to the Car Talk Shameless Commerce Division, with which, as you know, she can get 1 3/4 copies of our best-selling marital counseling CD, Men Are From GM, Women Are From Ford, all about couples and cars.
Indeed.
1 3/4 copies. This is the most brilliant marketing strategy anyone has ever devised. We give people $25 and nothing costs $25.
This is brilliant.
I mean, I taught marketing for 40 years.
Hey, you didn't come up with this.
I never came up with this.
Well, that's why they drummed you out of the field.
Man.
Anyway, we'll have a new.
It's like when you get those free. We get a free vacation.
Yeah, 1 night, 7 days. I'm still working on it. Anyway, we'll have a new puzzle still to come, so stick around for that. In the meantime, you can call us about your car. We're at 888-CAR-TALK. That's 888-227-8255. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
Hi, this is Chris in Dallas.
Hi, Chris in Dallas.
Chris.
So what's up, man?
Well, I have a very old car.
How old?
Well, it's a 1959 Plymouth Belvedere.
Oh, yes. I remember them well.
I wasn't around in 59.
Well, yeah, where were you? You were in Virginia.
I was in reform school, so I don't remember the 59s.
The 59 Plymouth Belvedere, this is the only car that seats 4 across. Doesn't it?
Yeah, it's great to go to the drive-in movies in it.
Oh,
because there are no more drive-in movies, but
there still are 59.
If they come back, you'll be ready, Chris.
You'll be ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, what about it?
Well, I've kept it up pretty nicely, and I haven't driven it much in the last 15 years, usually just to club functions and shows and weddings.
I'm the same with my 63 Dart. I just take it to shows.
Yeah.
Saw Good Will Hunting recently. That was one of the shows I took it to. Yeah, so you don't drive it much.
No,
sorry to interrupt.
But I go to weddings, and they don't throw rice anymore. They throw birdseed to keep sparrows from exploding in midair or whatever. And there's always somebody who happens to throw just another handful in the car as you pull away. But my problem is a lot of this got thrown into the fresh air vent in front of the windshield. And whenever I put it up for the long 40-day Texas winter, I don't drive it, I had it covered, I found that my garage leaked through the car cover and spawned this garden of wildflowers. And
So this stuff is growing up through the little vent?
yes, and it's about as tall as it was. It was as tall as a windshield. I took pictures of it, but I pulled them all out. But the roots are stuck in there, and when I turn the fan on, chunks of roots fly out of the fresh air vent.
Yeah.
But there was also last spring I was dating a lady who had a son who didn't like me very much, and while I had the car parked, he stuffed 4 bricks of blue cheese in the car at different places, evidently 2 of them down the fresh air vent.
Oh, this kid needs a wedgie. Who is this kid?
Wow, what a little brat.
Oh, yeah.
Ever a kid needed
He
a little...
needs an atomic wedgie. You know what an atomic wedgie is? One of those where the waistband goes up over your head.
And it smelled bad. It smelled like a hot day at the zoo. I don't know what to do. Short of taking the windshield out.
Boy, oh, boy.
Well, taking the windshield
That
out.
ain't going to help you.
Well, if I take the windshield out, then I can take out the dashboard. And
Don't do that.
No.
You'll be sorry you did that.
Here's what you do.
I know what to do.
Go ahead. Tell
Go
me.
ahead.
No, you're the older brother, and you should be allowed to embarrass yourself first. I think you should leave him. I mean, anyone could have a 59 Belvedere, but not anyone could have one with stuff growing out of the cowl.
Yeah, that'd be a real showstopper.
It certainly would.
You could be the flower car.
The flower car. Chris and the flower car.
If you really want to get rid of them, I would go to your garden center.
Exactly what I was going to recommend.
And I would buy
Weed killer.
The smallest bottle of Triox.
There you go.
Vegetation killer. Who makes that? Ortho.
Oh,
yeah.
This is deadly stuff.
Well, this has radioactive isotopes.
Wait, does it kill people?
It kills everything.
Are people considered vegetation?
Well, I don't know. You might have to call the man. You might have to talk to their chief chemist, Igor, to see if, in fact,
yeah, Igor had a little problem.
Yes.
Yeah, but I mean, I would just try to kill the stuff. We're using whatever you would use to kill weeds or other stuff.
Triox is
that's one of those
things.
things.
Most weed killers are pretty selective. They will kill only a few. So you could put a weed killer in there and kill half the stuff, and the other things would be immune to it.
But there is a danger because you're going to be blowing this stuff through the ventilation system.
Triox kill everything.
Kills everything, including passengers and drivers.
Well, there's most of it is dead, and a lot of it's gone. But I still have this stuff that has settled into the bottom, and it's the smell that I need to get rid of.
No, you're going to have to. You're going to have to get into the heater system. You're going to have to somehow get someone to cut it open with a oxyacetylene torch.
Yeah, because that is not going to go away
ever.
It does not decompose.
Well, was this imported blue cheese or domestic?
It was blue.
It was blue.
It was
okay.
blue, so.
Yeah.
Because the domestic stuff has a half-life of about 95 years. The imported stuff might be there,
forever.
Well into the next millennium.
Yeah, well, it's also a great fertilizer for wildflowers.
I mean, you can see some of the ductwork. Because that's such a big car. There's a lot of room under that dashboard. I can't remember it exactly.
This is also a car with factory air conditioning, and there's a lot of stuff that's in the way. And I've had most of it out. But I'm also wondering if I put chemicals, is that going to promote any rust? This car has no rust on it.
Yeah, you might have to be careful with chemicals. You're going to have to cut that thing open. And you need to take it to a shop. They'll cut it open with the whizzer. And they'll give you access. And then you can glue it back on.
Yeah, I mean, if you have access to one end of it, you'll be able to either reach through or put something in there to get to most of it and drag it out through the hole.
Yeah, and this is also a trap for whenever it rains, leaves and dust and dirt and everything is also a trap. So it probably had pretty good soil for that stuff to grow.
Well, Chris,
you'll be spending many a weekend with your head under that dashboard. I can tell.
Yeah. I was afraid of that.
Good luck, brother.
Thank you.
Bye.
A little brat put blue
cheese. Oh, yeah, he needs a wedgie. 1-888-CAR-TALK. That's 888-227-8255. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
This is Amy from San Francisco.
Amy, how you been?
Good, how are you?
I've been waiting to hear from you.
Well, good. I've been waiting to
What kind of a Honda do you have?
What kind of Honda?
No, wrong, huh?
No, I don't have a Honda.
Oh, all right. I just had Honda feelings there.
Oh, well, my mom sells Hondas. Maybe that's how you got the
Oh,
feeling.
that's it. Oh, that'll do it.
Okay. I'm calling actually about a 1992 Geo Prism with about 135,000 miles on it. And it's got this weird thing where if you drive it for any length of time, like over half an hour, and then stop it, it won't start back up again. But then if you leave it alone for an hour, or sometimes 2 hours, depending on how long I was driving it, it starts right back up, no problem. It usually starts right back up right after I've called the tow truck, actually. It waits for me to call the tow truck, and then as soon as they get there, it starts right back up, and they look at me like I'm a total fool who doesn't know how to turn on the car.
Mm-hmm.
So you could almost make this do it. So, for example, if you wanted to demonstrate this to your mechanic, you could drive the car for an hour and
make sure you ended up at the shop.
And pull into his shop and shut the thing off and demonstrate to him that it didn't restart.
Well, we could do that if it wasn't so. It's deliberately thwarting us from trying to figure out what it is. Like one time, my husband did exactly that. He had an hour and a half drive, and he drove right to the gas station where our mechanic is. Stopped, went inside, talked to the guy, went back out, tried to turn it back on, started right back up. Then drove the 3 blocks back to our house, turned off the car, and just out of curiosity turned it back on. Wouldn't start up again.
Well, either you or your husband has to become the detective here, because otherwise this is going to drive you to the loony bin.
Well, it's a hassle. We can't ever drive any place where we're not going to be there more than an hour or 2 hours.
Yeah, well, maybe it's the car's way of dictating your social life.
Yeah, so we're going out too much.
This is either a fuel problem or a spark problem.
Fuel or spark?
Yeah. Or oxygen. And I don't think the car's suffering from lack of oxygen, so it's going to be fuel or spark. And the way to determine easily the way to go about this easily is to test the spark first. And the easiest way to do this is to take it to your mechanic and have him show you how to determine when the engine has spark. Okay, when the ignition system is creating spark. And you can do it very simply with a screwdriver on a car like this.
It requires opening the hood and pulling off a spark plug wire, but it's not hard to do.
Okay, we can figure it out.
But you're going to figure out, you're going to say to him one of two things. Either, when it doesn't start, it has great spark, or it has no spark.
Okay.
And if it has no spark, then he's going to go ahead and replace the coil and the igniter. And if it does have good spark, then he's going to begin to look at the fuel system. But at least he'll know that the ignition system is okay, and have eliminated many costly pieces that he's not going to replace. But my vote, if I had to guess here, I'd say
coil.
I'd say it's the coil or the igniter.
I'm with you, man.
But why does it happen only after we've been driving for a while?
Oh, we can't answer that. I mean, why? We're having enough trouble with
we'd
what?
have to kill you then, Amy.
Come on. You can't ask all these questions. Why and what? You want what or you want why? Come on.
Next thing you're going to be asking us how.
Yeah.
We don't know how.
Oh, who?
No, when the coil heats up, it's often the case that when the engine is shut off, that the built-up heat will prevent the coil from working. And the same thing happens with igniters. So, and if the heat actually, the underhood temperature goes higher when you've turned the key off for a short period of time.
Okay,
because you've stopped moving the car, and the heat that the engine has built up is liberated to these parts. And then once they get hot enough to create what's called an open circuit, they won't work. And then you let the thing cool off for a while, and boom, it starts up and it runs perfectly.
Yeah, and if you check for spark and you get no spark, that'll tell the mechanic that one of those two things has done this.
Okay.
And that's the answer to what? The answer to why we'll have to wait for our next book.
Okay.
See you, Amy.
Great, thanks a lot.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, Tommy, it's that time of the show again.
Oh, is this the part of the show where the NPR orchestra plays a light, tasteful intermission rondo to ease us into the station break?
No, this is where Dougie gives us dope slaps and hits the...
Hi, it's Rachel Martin with NPR News. And you know what? We're doing something new, and we want you to be part of it. It's called Up First. It's the morning news podcast from NPR. It's a way for you in about 10 minutes or so to get up to speed on the news of any given day. The most important stories, the biggest ideas, the stuff you need to know as you go through your day. Up First, it starts April 5th. You can get it at NPR One or anywhere you listen to your podcasts.
Ha! We're back. You're listening to Car Talk with us, Click and Clack, the Tappert brothers. And we're here to discuss cars, car repair, and the new puzzler.
Yeah.
Now,
You got one?
I have a vague recollection that many years ago I used this puzzler, but
So what?
first of all, I can't really remember.
So it doesn't matter.
Well, so I thought, what the heck?
Yeah.
An off-duty policeman.
I remember it. No, I don't.
An off-duty policeman is working as a night watchman in an office building.
I remember it.
You do?
Yeah.
Well, tell me about it. And he's doing his rounds, and he comes to a closed door, and behind the door he hears voices. He hears people talking, and an argument seems to be taking place, raised voices, and he hears one of them say, "No, Frank, no, don't do it. You'll regret it." Bang, bang, bang. He bursts through the door. What does he see? A dead man on the floor.
And the proverbial.
And the proverbial what?
Smoking gun.
And in the room are three living people. A minister,
They're all named Frank.
a doctor, and a plumber. He walks over to the minister and says, "You're under arrest. You have the right to remain silent and not to remember anything else." How does he know that it was the minister that pulled the trigger?
I like the name. It was a convention, and everyone
Convention
had
here
names.
says, "Hi, my name is Frank,
It was Frank.
and I'm armed."
And I'm the guy who just shot.
Now, if you think you know the answer, write it on the back of a $20 bill or a piece of ripe fruit and mail your correspondence to Puzzler Tower, Car Talk Plaza, Box 3500, Harvard Square, Cambridge.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Cambridge!
Our fair city.
Matt 02238, or you can email your ripe fruit to us from cartalk.com if you'd like to call us about anything. The number is 1-888-CAR-TALK. That's 888-227-8255. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
Hello, this is Dan from Portland.
Dan.
Which Portland would that be?
Portland, Oregon.
Of course.
Well, there are
Oregon.
two, you know, at opposite corners of the country.
Well, not corners, opposite ends.
Sides.
Sides, opposite
Yeah,
sides.
exactly. Well, I have an interesting anomaly.
Yeah.
It's not turning into a problem yet, but I thought you guys would be the ones who would know.
Interesting anomaly.
An
Okay.
anomaly.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a 92 Honda Civic. I dearly love it. Everything works. Don't have a problem. But what's happening is it seems like whenever I drive it, about every week and a half, I pop the hood, check the oil and all the fluids, and it seems that my overflow tank is always empty.
No.
So I fill it up, drive it again, do it the same thing a week later, and it's empty again.
Yeah.
Now, it's not running hot. I check the radiator. It's always full.
Yeah.
I look underneath. I park in the same place, both at work and at home. No leak.
Did you go to sleep or are you just groaning?
I'm groaning.
So I'm thinking, where does it go?
Well, this ain't no anomaly, buddy.
Yeah, no, this is called a problem.
Are you a religious person, Dan?
Yes.
Do you go to church or synagogue or something like every day?
Oh, not every day.
And then you're out of luck. If you did, then this would be something like a pinhole in that plastic reservoir.
Uh-huh.
So you fill it up and it just pours out somewhere.
Right.
So you wouldn't see it. It would just drip right on the ground, and you wouldn't see it when you were parked because I don't know why you wouldn't see it.
But you can forget about that because that isn't what you got.
Now, if you're lucky, you have a loose hose clamp, you could still be lucky.
You could still be lucky.
You could have a leaky water pump. You could still be lucky, although it's unlikely that you wouldn't see some evidence of either one of those things.
But do you attend church, synagogue, or whatever other place of worship like 3 times or more a week? Then you don't have this either. Once a week, then.
Maybe.
Once a week?
Once or twice a week, yes.
Once or twice?
Oh.
Oh, right on the borderline. Okay. Head count. Because once every 2 weeks, cracked head. Once a month, cracked block.
Yeah, it's very likely that the coolant is going out the tailpipe.
Okay.
And what's happening is as it goes out the tailpipe, you need to replenish it, and you're doing that by filling up the reservoir, and it's sucking the stuff out of the reservoir and depositing it in one of the cylinders. and
where it gets vaporized.
One drop at a time. You will eventually notice that the thing becomes hard to start or runs poorly when started. Have you noticed that already?
No, it runs just as normal.
And you haven't seen any white smoke coming out the tailpipe?
No,
And how long does it take for the reservoir to empty?
Oh, probably about a week and a half, I would think.
Yeah.
Well, I feel strongly that it could be the head gasket. You could be lucky, and it could easily be something else you wouldn't necessarily see any evidence of.
Yeah.
What that something else is, I haven't a clue, but it certainly could be a leaky hose or it could be a leaky water pump. You have to have your mechanic pressure test it for a long period of time, not a 5-minute test.
Okay.
Ask him to park it in a nice, clean, dry spot, and then put the pressure tester on it and leave it there for several hours with the engine hot.
And the pressure tester is just like a radiator cap that you can pump up.
Okay.
So you pump it up to 15, 20 pounds of pressure, PSI.
And then you'll see drops in the ground, maybe.
And then you follow the drops upward because drops generally fall downward. And you'll find out where it's leaking, if it's leaking.
Okay.
So
and I think
pray for that.
I think, Dan, you're going to find you have a loose hose clamp.
Wouldn't that be
on the
nice?
top radiator hose.
Wouldn't that be
that
good?
That would be nice.
That would be really good.
Not. See you, Dan. Good luck.
Okay, thanks.
By the way, when he does this test, if it's inconclusive, have him do the head gasket test.
Okay.
See you later.
Great, thanks.
Good luck.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
1-888-CAR-TALK or 1-888-227-8255. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
Hi, this is Leah from Seattle.
Who?
Leah, do you remember me?
Leah!
Yeah, I called last fall from Mount Holyoke.
How are you?
I'm doing great.
If for those who don't remember, Leah sent us a letter. It's many months ago now, isn't it?
Yes.
And in the letter, she told us how miserable and unhappy she was.
Despondent, I think would be the right word.
Suicidal almost.
I would not go quite that far.
Where were you going to school?
Mount Holyoke.
Mount Holyoke, one of those wacko schools of the east, in the western part of this state here, Mount Holyoke. And you were miserable. It was such a heart-rending letter, which we read on the air.
Mm-hmm.
And the amount of response was tremendous. Everybody wanted
mostly from 20-year-old guys, but it was
who were asking for your address
and a picture.
Quite a few characters that wrote, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I mean, you got some great mail.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, oh boy. And
then we lost touch with you because you disappeared from Mount Holyoke.
The last thing we heard, actually, was that Leah had left Mount Holyoke and had moved back to Seattle, and you sent us a note, I believe, to that effect, saying how much happier you were.
Yes, definitely. I transferred to University of Washington.
Yeah.
And I really like it out here. I'm so glad to be back with our mountains and the sea and all that stuff. And,
well, we don't have that in our fair state?
We already went over this before. It's not the same back there.
No.
Well, the sea's on your right instead of your left here. But other than that,
Yeah. I mean, all you got to do is turn around, and you don't even know what coast you're on.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
It's great out here, and I'm really glad.
Well,
I learned a lot from being back there, and I'm glad that I spent the 4 months there that I did, but it's really good to be back on the West Coast again.
Besides the mountains and the sea.
Yes.
What was the thing that made you go home the most? I mean, what was that? What was it?
I guess I'd have to say the West Coast mentality, and I don't want to stereotype all East Coasters.
But go ahead. We're ready. We can take constructive criticism.
Leah, we have alienated just about everybody in the country.
All right.
So just jump right in.
What is it about the East Coast mentality that rubbed you the wrong way?
I mean, are we just all morons or what?
No, you're not all morons. It's just that everything is really steeped in tradition. And everything is kind of one way, and that's the way things have been for hundreds of years, and that's the way things are going to stay, whereas on the West Coast, there's more of this adventurous atmosphere, and people seem to be more laid back and open to change and open to new experiences.
So you got a problem with that, you little West Coast twerp?
Yeah, I
do. Interestingly, I happen to have right on the table here, and so help me, I had no idea that you would be on the phone today. And I was looking through my mail, and I get a letter here, which is from Ivan Brown and Nan Fry. Fry.
Yes.
What it says is, thank you all for your thoughtful response to our daughter Leah's letter last week. What a positive experience for a young adult, and I'm thankful for the insightful messages she received. We are amazed that she chose the Tappert brothers to reach out to, but considering your response, she chose wisely. It's even more amazing that we totally agreed with your advice. And then it goes on to say what miserable...
Did you read the PS at the bottom? If she moves back to Washington, we're suing you?
This is from your parents, and it goes on to explain how they had been to Boston several times and hated everything and everyone.
No, that can't be right, because I know my mom's never been to Boston.
What one? It says I have been.
Okay, my dad's been to
Your
Boston.
dad, then.
Yeah.
I have previously maintained a low opinion of your area based on several bad experiences with the road rage displayed on the local highways and the surly bartenders. and he says, I've changed my mind since now I met you guys. What?
My dad's gonna die when he hears it.
Well,
wow.
Well, Leah, it's a pleasure to hear from you and to know that you're well, even though you have escaped to the wild, wild west with all those new age nutcases out there. But that's all right if it makes you happy to be there.
Yeah, I'm very happy. And the only problem is I wasn't able to pull off any B's for you guys.
That was our next question.
No B's?
No B's.
All
I'm
A's?
Sorry. It had to be a 4-point.
Just tell me, how much effort does it take to get these A's?
A lot.
Then
A lot.
Why are you doing that?
Well, actually, I'm glad. Okay, I worked really, really, really hard while I was back there, and I got the 4-point, and I was really proud of the work I produced, too, which was really important to me. I mean, I was writing some really great pieces.
You're headed right for the anal retentive world.
But
you are, Leah. Trust me on this.
Hold on. I'm not done yet.
Yeah,
I'm not done
okay.
yet. Now that I'm back here, I've kind of gained the perspective that I was searching for back there, and I am more relaxed, even though I'm still doing well in school. The grade isn't as important to me.
You can never be truly relaxed, my child, until you get an F.
Yeah, it's like having that first fender bender on your brand new car.
It is so liberating.
It's liberating. It
But
changes
the
your
thing
whole
is,
life.
Right now, if I do get a B, I'm not going to die. So that's the important thing.
Yeah.
Not that I would have before, but it won't be as big of a deal to me.
Well, one of my dear friends, Antoine, who went to college with me, vacillated between getting all A's on his grade report or all F's. There was no middle ground for him.
Yeah.
And he said he never felt so liberated as that first semester that he opened his grade report and it was F, F, F.
Coincidentally, that was the semester he met you.
Just before that, yeah, it was, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, well. And I feel responsible for making him a real human being. And he appreciated those A's a lot more after he got all those F's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trust me, throw one F in there. It'll look like an A. No one will even notice.
Just draw a little line down the other side.
That's it.
Hey, Leah, it's a pleasure to talk to you. Thanks a million.
Yeah, it's great talking to you guys, too.
And I wish
keep
you the
in touch.
I will, definitely.
See ya, bye.
Take care. Bye.
1-800.
All A's. I would have been happy with just one.
Yeah. Is that the reason that we discourage people from getting A's?
Yeah,
we got so few of them?
Well, I think we can call ourselves a success if we can somehow get Leah to flunk out of the University of Washington. We got 3 years.
I got Tony to flunk out.
If we can get her to drop out for a semester, be forced to drop out for one semester, I would say that my life will have been led for some good reason.
Really?
Yeah. But if she goes all the way through with 4.0,
you will have failed.
We will have failed.
We'll keep working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get one professor who will mistakenly start flunking her in all her exams. Just give her F's just to see if she can
might
take
turn suicidal, and then you'd have that on your hand.
Yeah, I'd be worried.
Yeah, no,
man, people like that, if they ever got an F, they would break into tears. She would break into tears if she ever got an F.
Yeah, you never know.
But it's cathartic.
Yeah.
And once she got it over with, she would be a new person. How can we do it?
You don't even notice the second and third ones.
It's like the dent in your car.
That's right.
Boom, boom. Like my sister. My sister had a car. Just to prove your point, she's driving down Massachusetts Avenue in Arlington one day, in Cambridge, where there's a center island for a piece of the road. A car coming in the opposite direction jumps the island, comes across to her side of the road, sideswipes her car. She just kept going. Why bother to stop?
Right. It was already dented on that side anyway.
That side.
I already collected for that accident. Well, it's happened again. You've wasted another perfectly good hour listening to Car Talk. Our esteemed producer is Doug the Subway Fugitive, not a slave to fashion, Bongo Boy, Frogman Berman. Our associate producers are David the Calves of Belleville Green and Catherine Frau Blucher Fenolosa. Our web lackey is Doug the Old Gray Mare, assisted by Connie Britchford. Our theme music is by David Dog Grisman, and our technical, spiritual, and menu advisor, just back from the Burmese, canned peas, cottage cheese, iced teas, and takeout Cantonese taste teas, is John Bugsy Lawler. Our public opinion polls,
Cheatham and Howe and WBUR in Boston.
and even though cardiologists everywhere say, pass the trans fat whenever they hear us say it, this is NPR.